Hey, what's up, you guys? Willie Jacob here to bring you. I don't do weekly reviews of Z Nation, I guess. My review of the season 2 finale of Syfy Z Nation, which is of course season 2, episode 15, entitled "All Good Things Must Come to an End." And I apologize. I know I didn't review last week's episode at all. As I've said before, it was never guaranteed that I'd be able to review them every week. Because a lot of times on Friday I hang out with my girlfriend or something like that. And, after that, I've been trying to watch some other shows, like Arrow. I've even, checked out Teen Wolf a little bit. So I've just been caught up on a bunch of other stuff. I've been playing Skyrim again, even. Yes, I still have time for video games until I get a job, at least. But I definitely did not want to let the show go, though, of course. I still highly enjoy it. I just want to be in like a specific mood for it, and I was today. So I caught up on last week's episode, and I also watched the season 2 finale. I'm not going to talk too much about day 1, last week's episode, but I will say I did like that one quite a bit too. I like seeing all the flashbacks to our group, the survivors before the apocalypse started, of course, or just as it was starting. It was cool seeing Mac again, seeing him and Addie meeting. That was really cool to see. The hockey game and stuff like that. Mac was actually a hockey player on the opposing team. So that was fun. I like Doc's flashback as well, especially. He was actually, coming off of this stuff, coming off of his addiction, 5 years, without any of it and stuff like that. And he was actually, helping people psychologically dealing with it and among other things. He was helping with, people who are having, like, marriage problems or anything like that. So that's kind of ironic. And it looked like when the apocalypse really started going down in his little office he was working at there, it looked like it kind of put him back into it, and he started taking drugs again just to deal with all the shit going on, So I thought that was really funny, too. Then, of course, it was, kind of tragic seeing, Vasquez. He was still mourning over his wife and daughter, and then they end up turning into disease and coming out of the caskets and stuff, which is, it's pretty dreadful for anyone, of course. That would be, and that's happened before. Again, I don't know. Although I do think the actor that played Vasquez kind of overacted in that scene, with all the screaming and stuff. I mean, I get like once or twice maybe, but he did like 3 or 4 times. I thought it should be a little bit more of a, reserved style of acting out that scene, but again, it's Z Nation, so things are sort of over the top like that, so I can't really blame him too much, I suppose. And I also like seeing Murphy, when he was in prison, finding out he was basically market fraud, and I might have heard that wrong, but it's good to see Murphy, some more about his past and stuff like that. I especially liked the scene before it really cuts to that flashback. Remember Murphy was saying, why did he end up here? Why me? He then really is talking about in his head the conflict he has within himself, with humans and zombies. So I thought that whole voice in his head thing, him talking to himself, was really good, actually. And I like him and Warren's, growing friendship. They say they're not friends, but you can tell they care about each other. And, that was even more evident, a little bit later, of course, in the season 2 finale. So yeah, I really did enjoy that episode. And as far as the season 2 finale actually goes, I thought it was very good, right on par with how season 1 ended. Of course, with Dr. Korean and stuff like that. If you guys remember last season with the missiles and stuff like that. Murphy escaping, leaving the group and things like that. This was right on par with that, very enjoyable. Of course, it was fun seeing the Zeros, show up again. So we get that final showdown between Warren and... Oh, now I can't remember her name all of a sudden. Give me a second, guys. I know I pretty much do this every week now. Look things up on Google. Let's see. Yeah, Reina. Okay. Gina Gershon's character. We knew she was alive, based off of the last time we seen any of the Zeros, but, it's still good to see that final confrontation between the two, like I said, that whole shootout, the supposed just random dump of a bar and stuff like that was pretty intense. And speaking of the storyline in general, I never expected the show to actually have the characters arrive in California so soon, really figure out where they're going to go with all that. We still don't really know, but I never thought they'd even really get there until maybe season 3, season 4. And in other people's hands, that some other writers probably would have saved that till like the end of the series or something if they really wanted to. But not Z Nation. They definitely picked the pace up here with having them arrive there. The old lady signaling the submarine, which is really cool to see. I never thought there would be someone coming out of the water or anything like that, so I thought that was pretty cool. And when we find out that the government, basically as we know it, is just completely done, and there's this group trying to build up this other civilization and supposedly restart it. But as Murphy is on this submarine, he figures out that basically it's going to be a society full of millionaires and billionaires and stuff like that who get access to this vaccine first. And then maybe they'll put it out to the general public. You know how these things work. So after that, things turned out the way they turned out at the end. But before we talk more about that, I also did, as I have my thumbnail, I really liked Murphy's goodbyes to each of the characters before he went on that submarine. I even liked him, showing respect towards Vasquez, saying he's sorry for what happened to his family. They share like a good nod with each other. 10K was actually shot, so they didn't really share goodbye with each other at that moment. But 10K's fate is kind of left up in the air. We'll talk about that towards the end of the video, I guess. I liked his goodbye to Doc especially. And maybe not especially, but I liked his goodbye to Doc as well. Them calling each other brother, Murphy giving them some Z-weed and stuff like that. Murphy does care about this group, so I think there's pretty much no doubt in my mind now that when it comes down to it, he is going to help them out. Him and Addie nodding to each other is cool, but there's really not as much between them as there has been between Murphy and the other characters. But it's still cool to see them interact like that. And of course, Murphy and Warren's goodbye was really nice. There's some people that even support the idea of them becoming a couple at some point. Some people I talk to on spoileddead.com. Some of us support the idea, and in a weird way, I can kind of see it. I think they're still building towards Warren and Vasquez right now, but I said before I really like Warren and Murphy's chemistry. Like as friends, their growing bond and stuff, but does it feel like something else is there between them? I don't know. I guess it could kind of go either way with it. It'd be kind of weird right now, so I think I need to take more time, but we'll see where it goes. Because they haven't even pulled the trigger with Warren and Vasquez yet, and we've seen signs of that earlier in the season. So I don't know what they're gonna do. But of course, like Murphy going for the handshake with Warren, and Warren, touching his face and stuff was pretty nice, pretty cute. I told you what went down on the ship. And, it's also cool to see that doctor again, the one that had worked on him, all the way back in season 1 and stuff. It was good to see that character pop up again, some kind of tie-in to the early part of the show. And, like I said, I like the fight with the Zeros, that final confrontation with Reina and Warren. But how Reina died, isn't really what you'd expect. Escorpion actually shows up and kills her. Yes, the guy that just got knocked into like a crowd of zombies, like laying down, somehow escaped and came back and is now a new man. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. Now that Emilio Rivera is doing a bad job in the role, he's fine, he's doing alright. But as far as the writing for this goes, it's even a little bit weird for Z Nation, I don't see how he would have gotten out of that little, the underground facility area. I don't see how he would have gotten out of that, but okay. He's shown that he can get out of situations like that before, so I'll let that pass. But then also the fact that he shows up and wants to help this group out, and he holds no grudge against Vasquez or any of them. And he's wanting to better himself and, make things right by, while he survives and stuff like that. I don't know if they're going to put some kind of other twist on it in season 3 or something. I hope so. But to me, the way they brought the character back and why he's there right now, it feels a little bit tacked on. It doesn't really make sense, even for Z Nation standards. So that part felt a little bit odd to me. But, I do like the character. He's, like I said, played, pretty well and stuff like that. And it also felt kind of weird that the group would just travel with him, pretty easily like that. I thought that was a kind of just, I don't know why as well. And of course, Vasquez stays back. I actually thought he was going to shoot himself after looking at the picture of his family, but he ends up, putting the picture into a bandana he wears and running off. So I'm sure he'll get back with the group eventually in season 3. But again, I felt like the whole thing with Vasquez and not Vasquez so much, but the way they handled Escorpion and Hector was pretty weird. So I don't know. We'll see where they go with it. Let's see. Also, like I said, 10K was shot. He was on the submarine. And at the end of the episode, we see the sub go down, and we see that Mercury had actually bitten. The main guy trying to, the main guy in charge of the submarine, and the doctor. Excuse me. He had bitten them. On the cheek, sort of like he did with Cassandra. As well as the other people on board. So he's in control of them now. Using this escape boat. Because obviously they found out how she wasn't so different from Dr. Kurian and stuff like that, and a certain way there's similarities between the two for sure. So I'm wondering how that's going to go over with the rest of the group. That's all going to be explained, and I'm wondering if we're going to see that society that wants, or that new society that wants the vaccine and stuff, like the rich people and stuff. I wonder if we're ever going to see that location. It's supposedly on an island. I think that might be something kind of cool they could do with what they have now. And 10K, he's supposedly still on the submarine, but we did see him get up before it went down. We just don't know, where he is now. And yes, we're supposed to think he's dead, but no, he's probably not dead. He probably got out somehow. We'll probably see him, pop up again with the group at some point, pretty early on in season 3, I'm guessing. So, those are the bullet points from the episode. Overall, very good finale, very fast paced, and a lot of action, pretty intense with the shootout with the Zeros and stuff. I like the, character moments between Murphy and the others, and, really has me wondering about, the long-term idea of where they're going to go in season 3. But like I said, the only knock-out on it was the whole Escorpion thing. I just don't really get it. I think they could have done that better even by their own usual standards. But, we'll see. Overall, very good finale, though. I highly enjoyed it. I will miss Z Nation, but at least we know we're getting a season 3, so I'm looking forward to talking more about it when it comes back on. And I may even do a top 5 favorite characters list at some point. I'm planning on doing it for this, and also maybe the 100 before that premieres here on January 21st, but we'll see. I'm also working on a new tribute to the Vampire Diaries, so that will be out within a couple days, a day or two maybe, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you guys enjoyed season 2 of Z Nation, overall very good season. Definitely something you can enjoy for different reasons that don't have to do with The Walking Dead. You can enjoy them both for what they are. So yeah, add me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, MoviePilot, and look for InSpoiledDead.com. I'll catch you guys next time, and peace.